Howdy, friends. I'm just coming in from having my tea. I'd like to talk to you for a moment. Well, my name is Louise Finch, otherwise known as Scout. I'm the narrator of this book, To Kill a Mockingbird, and I'll be discussing with you all the events of my childhood back in the 1930s. The events that happened during that time have drastically changed me and have brought me to a new understanding of people. Not only people as they are, but also how they can become. To begin with, my story takes place in Macomb, Alabama. I start my story explaining the events of my brother's broken arm when he was nearly 13 years of age and I was 8. However, as I recall the events leading to this broken arm, I go back to the summer which our friend Deal came to our town when he was 6 and my brother, Jim, was 10. The next 2 years shaped and formed the person that I am today, and as well as the community in which I live. You see, in the 1930s, Macomb was a different place. All facets of life were segregated. I didn't know any better because that's how I was raised, although my father made every attempt to help me understand. I was just too young to know any different. I had no idea my father, Atticus, and how he truly felt about the evil ideas of racism and bigotry, because I never saw him anywhere but at home. Of course, our housekeeper was a Negro, and I seldom saw her for the person that she really was. I was too caught up in my own selfish desires to take the time to get to know her. I guess that's part of the process of growing up. It's a process of understanding that you are not the only person in the world. And I guess that's one of the reasons that I tell my story, so that you can come to this realization also. In terms of the time period, we called it the Great Depression. Although I really didn't understand what that meant at the time. People were going through some really hard times. There was a lot of fear in our community. The people were living in Macomb. They were worried about keeping their homes, preserving their way of life, and keeping their jobs. The farmers were afraid of losing their farms, being able to feed and support their families. The Negroes were afraid of being blamed for all these problems, while still hoping that the farms stayed open so that they could stay alive. Everyone was poor, including me, but at that time I thought we were blessed in comparison to poor white trash farmers and their Negro employees. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was our president, and he spoke to us every week on the radio during his fireside chats. He filled us with positive thoughts and feelings during this tough time. He talked about the New Deal, a way of life where all Americans could be guaranteed 4 freedoms: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom from want, and most importantly, freedom from fear. We were told by our president we had nothing to fear but fear itself. Well, I could not have understood the irony in that statement. I was too busy being afraid of Boo Radley. Luckily for me, my father helped guide me to what I would really fear, and that is evil that was swallowing the world at the time. Now looking back, I want you to know my experience so that I can be your guide through the passage of time and understanding of what we do have to fear: ourselves.